Since Sunday, some of the best West Virginia high school football seniors have been at West Virginia State University gearing up for a classic. Many from the North and South will play college football, while some call it a career. The two are ready to collide in South Charleston as our Friday night rivals North-South All-Star Football Classic presented by Wendy's comes your way next. Welcome you live inside Black Eagle Stadium in South Charleston on this Saturday afternoon for coverage of the 2019 Friday Night Rivals North-South All-Star Football Classic presented by Wendy's, as some of the top graduating standouts for the West Virginia high school football season of 2018 represent their programs one last time. This great game started back in 1934 and then resumed in 1976. Greetings from South Charleston, along with Jim Mahan, Tom Hunter on the north sidelines, Kenny Bass on the south sidelines, and our wonderful Friday Night Rivals crew. I'm Mark Martin. Delighted you could be with us from South Charleston. 40 years ago, Jim Mahan, you suited up for the South Cardinals, starting defensive tackle, and also had the honor of being one of 4 captains. I know this brings back a lot of memories for you.
Some wonderful memories, Mark, and yes, these kids will cherish these relationships they build with these players for a lifetime.
All right, the North has won 3 straight games, trying to make it 4. Who leads the way for the North Bears in 2019?
Leading the way for the North is Liberty Harrison's A.J. Harmon. He's been the head coach of his alma mater for the past 5 seasons, enjoying success each year. 2 of his Mountaineer teams have been a part of the Class AA playoff field. Coach Harmon played for the North in the 2005 North-South Classic.
All right, and for the South Cardinals, well, it's going to be an emotional game. David Moneypenny is a part of the Classic for a second time. In 2016, he was a South assistant coach. Moneypenny served 2 different stints as Fayetteville's head coach, 06 through 08 and 2015 through 2018. 4 of those teams reached the single-A playoffs. The 1982 Midland Trail graduate has the distinction of being the last Fayetteville head coach in school history. Of course, we had the head coaches picked, and they assembled staffs, and then they got those 36-man rosters together, and now here they are, just moments away from getting this football game underway. And in a moment, we will be heading to the field, and we'll hear from Tom Hunter on the North, Kenny Bass on the South, and bring you the kickoff, our Friday Night Rivals North-South All-Star Football Classic presented by Wendy's. Back in South Charleston, much pleasant conditions from a year ago when it was steamy here for this North-South Football Classic. We've had some rain here today. Over to the north sidelines, Tom Hunter. Good afternoon, Tom.
Good afternoon, Mark. Looks like rain's going to be out of the way. Just overcast skies today. This Bermuda surface in great shape. Field drains very well. Walked on the field prior to kickoff here. Looks really good. Running clock rules today. NFL college rule, 12 minutes to get down inside the last 2 minutes of each quarter, and then we'll have stoppages at that time. Let's send it over on the south sideline to Kenny Bass.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. This is very similar to an early season, regular season game for the players. They really aren't in the game shape that you would expect them to be in once they've practiced through camp all through August and get ready into September. They're very cognizant of that here. And even though it's not as hot as it was last year, it is very humid. So the training staff has plenty of water, keep everybody hydrated. Worried mostly about cramping because these guys have only been working out for about a week. But all in all, everybody's healthy. Looking forward to a great game. Guys, up to you in the booth. Good luck.
Thank you, Kenny. We look forward to it. Tim McCutcheon out of Hurricane High School is going to be kicking it off. There was questions as to whether he would get to play in this game, but he is ready to go. He had a foot injury, but he's going to be kicking it off here for this South Cardinal team. DeAndre Holloway out of Bridgeport. He's back deep on the kickoff. He's in the middle in that red helmet. We got Xavier Posey, number 26, and Desmond Fluharty. Posey out of Fairmont Senior, and Fluharty from North Marion. So you got the North Central connection back there to receive this kickoff, and McCutcheon puts his foot into it. Holloway takes it inside the 5, and here is DeAndre Holloway, and he will dart out to the 28-yard line, and that is where the North Bears will get it going here. Jim Mahan to start this North-South All-Star Football Classic as Tyson Hall from Spring Valley makes the tackle.
Yeah, these guys will be a little bit tentative just starting out, trying to get the feel first earlier on in the game, but the contact will come as the game comes along and develops.
And we get a chance to see Kennedy Award winner Connor Neal at quarterback for this North Bear squad. Neal threw for over 6,000 yards in his high school career. The left-hander, pretty good protection, and now Neal gonna get away from one South defender, and Connor Neal will bring it out over across the 40-yard line and get the first down as he's driven out of bounds there by Avante Burnett, number 36, from Beckley Woodrow Wilson. And you see Connor Neal, 6 foot 200, on a Fairmont Senior. They were 14-0, won the AA state championship at Wheeling Island Stadium. Going to stay right there in the friendly city in Marion County and play for the Fighting Falcons at Fairmont State. So a first down, Neal does it with his feet. Now Neal going to gun it across the middle and trying to get it into the hands of his teammate, Rhett Heston, who will walk on to WVU. Austin Isaacs from Midland Trail there on the coverage for the South Cardinals, brings up second down.
Yeah, he was trying to thread that needle. It was very well covered, Mark, so he didn't have a lot. Some of the things these receivers are going to have to see is Neal's a lefty, so we know that ball spins a little bit different. Plus, it's a little moist out there with some of the rain we've had earlier.
J.J. Mahan is our statistician. Gordy Ball is our spotter for today's game. Connor Neal with good protection, and Neal overshoots his intended receiver, Posey. So he's looked for his high school teammates on the last two plays.
Well, he had him there, dragging across the middle, but he was a little bit anxious. Looked like he didn't have his feet set really well, and then he saw him at the last second, tried to use more of the arm rather than plant.
See Posey there, played at Fairmont Senior with his twin brother, Elijah Posey. So we'll bring up third down and 10 from the 42-yard line. Javon Davidson out of Robert C. Byrd in the backfield with Neal. Neal wants to throw. Now he's going to keep it and run again, and he will be taken down, slowed down there by Sammy Pullins out of Fayetteville High School, the final Pirate athlete to compete in a sporting event representing his high school there. And then finally putting on the stop was Andrew Burdett.
Yeah, it's a nice footwork there by Neal, and then you're going to see Burdett come in there and just lower the boom on him and force the North to punt. the first punt of the game.
Burdette, well, looks like the North's going to go for it. 4th and 5. We'll see if they're just trying to pull them off here. Football at the 47. North, they're going to go for it here and zipping it out, and the catch is made for the first down in South territory as Fluharty makes the grab, and Austin Isaacs out of Midland Trail. He was the late addition to the South squad. He makes the tackle there. His father, Frankie Isaacs, played in this game for the South 28 years ago.
That's amazing. And I'll tell you what, when you see that ball thrown, that's got some zip on it, Mark. That's a lot more confidence from Connor Neal than we saw on that third down when they tried to convert earlier.
So from the 42 to the 43, here's Neal scrambling, and Neal's going to keep it, and it's Sammy Collins again, slowing him down and taking him out of bounds there on the south sideline.
One of the things we want to concern ourselves with Connor Neal, he's not used to this kind of running. He is a good rusher. He has, as you said before, the Kennedy, he was up for the Kennedy 2,500 yards rushing, passing, Mark. But he's going to have to sit back in that pocket, get some protection, and advance the North.
Vermont Senior won his first state championship since 1946. Neal across the middle, and a diving effort there by Heston, and ball falls incomplete. Logan Cook out of Beckley Woodrow Wilson, outstanding athlete. He'll run unattached in college in track and field at West Virginia University. 3rd down and 8, football from the 42.
It's good coverage. A lot of emotion starting to come up. As you see, Coach Harmon has no qualms about going for it, so I'm sure this would be 4-down territory if they don't make it.
3rd and 8, 2 wide to the top of the screen. Now Davidson gets his first call of the game, and Davidson to the 40, and then he was leveled there by Kalai Clark for the South. Davidson, the all-time leading rusher in RCB history. This past season, 2,104 yards and 26 touchdowns. Would play at the next level for Glenville State, who will be under the guidance of a new head coach this season and a former North-South All-Star, Mike Keller. So 4th down and 6 from the 40. Connor Neal. 2 wide to the bottom of your screen, and here goes Neal. Protection again for Neal, dancing around, and now rifles. Got a man out there and broken up. Good coverage once again by the Cardinals.
Jacob Hensley on the coverage there. It was excellent coverage by the South, and a little bit surprising. Neal went going deep, Mark, knowing he only needed about 6 for the first down, but he couldn't find anything, and probably gotten a little bit tired of running for it.
Trying to hit Rohan Parchment out of Spring Mills, but again, good coverage there by J.T. Hensley, an All-State football player, an All-State basketball player out of Sherman High School. Still undecided as to what he's going to do. So the South goes to work here. Will Atkins is the quarterback, and they'll go to the ground on the very first play. And going to be Cordell Lesher out of Midland Trail, rushed for 700 yards this past season, 13 touchdowns. And that's one thing that the South came in here wanting to improve on in past games, as Ryan Creech out of Parkersburg makes the tackle. Last season, just 25 yards on 12 carries. Season before, 18 of 28. So they want to improve that running game. Atkins, he's a big body there, Jim, at 230.
Yeah, he can definitely, he has a lot of skills, and he's very athletic, as you can see. The different philosophies between the two coaches, Mark. You see the North coming out, going airborne straight out of the gate, having one running. We have the South already with 2 point-of-attack runs, and they're more like power football. So you're seeing 2 different philosophies out there.
Owen Chapin on the carry there out of Spring Valley High School. Tackle was made by Lincoln's Hunter Moore. Play at West Liberty. Chapin is a preferred walk-on at West Virginia. 3rd and 5. Atkins turns and goes to Chapin, who has great speed, but Chapin Will be wrapped up around the ankles and taken down by Petersburg Jacob Hartman. Great story about this young man we'll get into later, but Petersburg Viking, and he makes the tackle there, and it's going to be a punting situation here for the South Cardinals, and Atkins, the quarterback, and he will drop back here in punt formation. Fluharty will head back for the North along with Holloway. Fluharty out of North Marion and Holloway from Bridgeport. Atkins booms this one, and Fluharty will take it. Now he's inside the 5-yard line, and Fluharty looking for daylight. Fluharty.
They built a nice wall around that right side, and Fluharty just followed his blockers well.
All right, so the North will have it again. No score here early on in South Charleston.
Back, 78 receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down. TV timeout. TV timeout.
Ball will be spotted on the 16-yard.
We welcome you back live inside Black Eagle Stadium here in South Charleston, the beautiful campus of South Charleston High School. Eagle Way, the venue for this classic for the second year in a row. And again, when you talk about keys to the game, Jim, the South coming into this one, talking to Dave Moneypenny and his crew yesterday after a week, said, well, you know, one thing we got to do, we just got to slow down this dynamic offense of the North, because they brought a lot of playmakers to the camp. Each team does, but with Connor Neal, 2 of his teammates, the offensive coordinator from Fairmont Senior, they had a plan coming here, and that's to air it out.
They were going to air this thing out, and they've set that tone early, and it looks like they're going to continue that. And they're not really playing, they're playing regardless of what the field position is. They're inside their own 20.
All right, they'll start this drive from the 16, and the handoff goes to Heston. And Heston is just a very durable, versatile player. He can play a variety of roles, as he did for Fairmont Senior, and Rhett Heston gets the call there. He was a first-team All-Stater as a utility player on the defensive side. And it was J.T. Hensley out of Sherman who made the stop there. It's a gain of 3, second down and 7. So Trey Beard, who will also play quarterback today for Musselman, he lines up in the backfield for the North End. He gets the pitch, and Trey Beard hit hard on the far side of the field, and I believe that is
Tyson
Logan
Hall.
Cook. It's getting up maybe a bit slower. Is it Tyson Hall? That's going to be Tyson Hall that's a bit slow getting up there. Young man out of Spring Valley. 3 Spring Valley players in this game.
You see Tyson Cook is just kind of gets in the way. Boy, he took more of the lick than he did. It looks like he got a little zinger on the shoulder.
And Tyson Hall going to play his college football nearby Grayson, Kentucky, Kentucky Christian University. So we see Trey Beard running the football. Again, a great quarterback there for the Appleman of Musselman High School, threw for 1,988 yards, 25 touchdowns, and he rushed for 14 at 745 on the ground there at Musselman High. School well represented here in this North-South Classic, along with Jim Mahan, who played in this game back in 1979 with the great Kurt Warner, and the South won it 15-8, and that was the game in which they christened Lately Field.
Got to play in the new Lately
Field. Yeah, it
Field.
had been shut down for a couple of years, and Kurt Warner led the way. So it's going to be third down here from the 22-yard line, 3rd and 5 for Connor Neal and this North Bear squad.
Mark, to go along with that, you have wind and the wet conditions.
Holloway making the grab, but Cook is over there to make the tackle.
Logan Cook did a great job of closing on that. Looked like you're going to see him close on this. It was a low pass, but Logan Cook cuts over and that makes an excellent open field tackle.
Logan Cook, an outstanding athlete there at Beckley Woodrow Wilson for head coach Street Surratt. So 4th down and 4, and the North is lined up. We'll see if they just try to pull them off sides here. Yep, that's exactly what they wanted to do, Jim.
Well, they did exactly what you called, Mark, and then I was a little bit surprised they lined up from their own 23, given the fact that nobody's made it past midfield. It was a nice hard call on Connor Neal's part.
Get this play. Ran off here by the North, and we will tell you who the officials are for this North-South contest. Gentlemen out of the Ohio Valley.
These guys don't have a lot of that timing down watching the ball just from practice. They've only had a week's worth of practice.
Connor Neal looking to throw. In trouble, and Neal is going to be taken down there with a lot of hard hitting going on in that play. Poland's in on the stop once again and had help there from Mike Bartram, and we have a South player down, Sammy Poland's. Again, the final Fayetteville Pirate ever to represent that school. He was the final wrestler in the state wrestling tournament for Fayetteville High School. Again, that school closing, and students there in that beautiful town in Fayette County will head to Oak Hill High School. So we have an injury timeout here. Steve Lowe, who has been a part of this North-South Classic for many years out of Ripley High School. He is the North trainer. Heather Adams is the trainer for the South. We return to South Charleston in a moment. No score between the North and the South. Back inside Black Eagle Stadium here in South Charleston. Friday Night Rivals North-South All-Star Football Classic presented by Wendy's, along with Coach Jim Mahan, Tom Hunter on the north sideline, Kenny Bass on the south, our great Friday Night Rivals crew. Great to have you with us. And young man slow getting up, but Colton Wright out of Cabell Midland. And outstanding crowd here. Last year they were fighting the heat to very pleasant conditions here for football in June. So
one of the things these players have to watch out for, Mark. They just haven't gotten used to that contact. They haven't been around it that long. They've had their whole summers off, and they haven't played football in nearly a year. So you're going to see a little bit more tentative when they start contacting against each other. This is a contact sport.
Colton Wright, I said from Cabell Midland, forgive me, Beckley Woodrow Wilson. 2nd down 9 from the 28, Connor Neal looking for Davidson, and Davidson makes a nice catch, and then Davidson going to be hauled down there, and the tackle will be made by Jalen Battle out of Greenbrier East High School. Going to go to Concord and played for Ray Lee there in beautiful Fairleigh. Battle rushed for 1,000 yards on the offensive side, becoming the 13th Spartan to rush for 1,000 yards in Greenbrier East High's storied football program.
Quite a weight differential between Battle and him, so he was truly hauling him down.
He certainly was. All right, Connor Neal goes to work, guns it across the middle, and the catch is made there by Fluharty, and they'll take him down at the 41. Austin Isaacs makes the tackle there for the South Cardinals, so it's Xavier Posey on the snag there out of Fairmont Senior.
Oh, you saw it was a nice separation up from the line mark in terms of him having a nice window to throw that ball in.
So first down for the North, and keeps the drive alive. And here's Neal looking, and hits the back of Holloway. Now Holloway didn't see that one coming. Holloway was in a blocking situation, and Neal hits him in the back of the jersey, so that brings up second down and 10.
Yeah, Holloway was definitely not looking for that mark. It actually hit him in the shoulder. I mean, he could have, if he'd have turned around, he'd had him a nice gain and a first down for the North.
So Davidson and Heston in the backfield with Connor Neal. Wide to the near side is Posey. Got that big first down catch there a moment ago. Connor Neal handles the snap, guns it out, and Holloway bobbled it. And that's incomplete.
And that was no fault of Connor Neal's. He put that ball right on the money, and he actually put it between two defenders. It was a really nice ball thrown across the field, Mark. You're looking about 35-yard toss for a 40-yard gain. There has a lot of gambling implications with that. There's a lot of risk with that.
Third down and 10. Football at the 41-yard line. No score here between the North and the South in our Friday night rivals. North South All-Star Football Classic presented by Wendy's from Black Eagle Stadium here in South Charleston. Connor Neal awaits the snap. Neal looking. Neal unleashes it, and the ball is going to be picked off. Hensley with the interception out of Sherman.
This was an example, Mark, of Connor Neal had too much time to think on this.
J.T. Hensley
pickoff.
Yeah, Hensley was a vital cog in Sherman's turnaround under Mike Showalter. Take another look here, Jim, as Neal puts some
air on it, and then it gave enough time for the South to get over and double team it. Nice timing jump by Hensley to come down with the pickoff.
So the South Cardinals will take over here. No score. Will Atkins at quarterback.
You want to look at it like a blessing. It might be like a punt, Mark. They're inside their 10.
Too wide to each side, and Chafin gets the call and goes down quickly.
Well, we see no mystery of what the South plans on doing is establishing the line of scrimmage.
Lewis County's Ryan Metzger, number 60, making the stop there for the North. Metzger is going to go to culinary school. And that will do it. We have played a quarter here in South Charleston, the North and the South. And we have no score between the two. And we return to Black Eagle Stadium in a moment for the second quarter. That was quick.
Really hasn't been easy.
Yeah.
What talkback? I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. So, no, I don't. I've been screaming for you guys.
The picture guy is the
Yeah, he was on the other end. I've just got a couple things, the injury report on those two guys, and the reason they're wearing green socks.
To purchase your player's photo, the picture guy will also be doing
Okay.
action
All right.
photos of today's game. To view and purchase these photos.
This North-South All-Star Football Classic is being brought to you today by the City of South Charleston and the Eagles Nest Restaurant at Little Creek Golf Course, featuring the Canal Burger. Todd Judy Ford, home of tires for life. Bridge Valley Community and Technical College. And by the U.S. Air Force, a proud sponsor of high school football. Visit airforce.com or your local Air Force recruiting office for more information.
We welcome you back inside South Charleston High School's Black Eagles Stadium, getting set for the second quarter. Well, Kenny Bass, it may be June, but they're hitting out here like it's August or September, right?
They are. A couple of South players got dinged up a little bit. You're looking at number 10, that is Tyson Hall out of Sherman, and Spring Valley. And he had a shoulder, as you mentioned, Mark, and he's been working on it, rotating it, trying to shake it out. So he is unknown if he's going to go back in. He wants to, obviously, but he's still trying to work on his shoulder. And real quickly, number 51, Colton Wright out of Beckley Woodrow Wilson. He just took a hard hit, came over, cleared his head out, asked him how he was doing. He says he's fine and ready to play. Back to you.
Kenny, thank you, sir. And well, if there's a will, there's a way in this South offensive attack. They got Will Atkins, started out of Spring Valley. Now as we get this second quarter underway, Jim Mahan, we got Will Hackney coming in out of Sissonville. Hackney, first team offensive utility player in Class AA, and threw for over 3,000 yards in his career. And this past season, passed for nearly 2,500, rushed for about 553, and so he had a very productive senior season.
They're starting to open up a little bit of the holes there.
Now the ball is loose, and it looks like, well, did the South get back on it? Let's see. Nope, the North has it. The North has it. Ball came loose, and not sure, but I believe maybe
Chris Reinhardt.
Chris Reinhardt comes up with the fumble recovery. Outstanding player out of Musselman, linebacker, played for Brian Thomas there at Musselman. So the South coughs it up, and boy, what an opportunity here for the North.
I think when looking from the get-go, it was a bad snap, and we've talked earlier about how the field conditions, even though it's not raining currently, there is some moisture on the field. So that's part of the problem when you have a bad snap plus a wet ball. That could be a recipe for disaster.
We have a timeout here by the North as they gather some thoughts here. So the North with a great opportunity when we return to South Charleston in a moment.
They don't know what to do because now they can't throw.
Now the North calling a timeout to get things situated here as they have this outstanding chance here to punch it in. Scoreless game, 10:47 mark of the second quarter. Connor Neal out of Fairmont Senior, the Kennedy Award winner for the 2018 season. He remains at QB. Each day after practice and homework, Connor Neal would spend at least an hour watching game tapes on his computer. Now a little trickery here, and the ball was snapped to Heston, and we're going to have a motion penalty against the North. I'm trying to get a little fancy there, Jim. It's going to set it back.
Well, they tried to use Connor Neal as a decoy, and then they were going to do what looked like some type of flea flicker, but obviously they didn't have their timing down. It's hard to get those type of trick plays are hard to get, especially when you only have a week of practice.
The teams reported to West Virginia State University and Institute on Sunday. The first practice was postponed for each team because of lightning. You get in one practice that day. Connor Neal takes the snap, and he will hand it to Heston, and the South reading that one nicely.
And it looks like the North is going in the wrong direction here. They started on the 5 and now they're back to the 10. So maybe they're trying to give him a little more real estate to throw for Connor Neal to throw the ball in, Mark.
Colton Wright was there on the stop for the South Cardinals. So it's 2nd down and 13. Ball at the 13-yard line. Connor Neal takes the snap. Neal looking and throws it up, and a battle for it, and it will fall incomplete. Intended there for Reggie Redmond out of Kaiser High School. Tyson Hall in on the coverage there, so he's back into the game. Redmond, 2nd team All-Stater, got 26 passes this past season for the Golden Tornado of head coach Sean Beiser, going to play at West Virginia Wesleyan. 9 touchdown catches. His cousin, Tage Redmond, who went on to play some at West Virginia University, was a part of this game.
Got some good coverage, but both the receiver and the defender had their hands on each other.
Connor Neal shooting it, and the catch is made by Rohan Parchment, the Cardinal out of Spring Mills High School there in the Eastern Panhandle, and makes the grab with Tyson Hall, keeping him from probably going into the end zone.
Well, I don't know which one was more impressive, the throw or the catch. Probably more the catch. The throw was a little bit behind, but Rohan did an awesome job of digging that out of the dirt.
4th down and 2. Dalton Pollock, number 44, out of Frankfort, is in the game. And the handoff goes to Heston. Heston looking for the end zone. Not going to do it. And the stop is made there by the South Cardinals. And several got in on that play, including number 45, Caleb Richmond.
This didn't have anything going from the beginning. They didn't have, the line wasn't surging. Of course, they're having a hard time getting their footing on this Bermuda grass here at South Charleston, Mark. So, you know, while they may not have punched it in, they've certainly put the South back against the wall. They're deep inside their own territory.
All right, so after the South committed the turnover, they dodged the bullet there. Richmond, by the way, out of Meadowbridge High School. So Will Hackney now ready to go to work, and Hackney handing it off, and here is Chafin. Chafin finding some open space. Chafin taken down there by Fluharty out of North Marion. Chafin gets the 1st down for the South Cardinals. So Owen Chafin rushed for 1,400 yards, 22 touchdowns this past season. 2nd team All-State, a preferred walk-on at WVU.
He did a nice job of following his block. He had a good block there from Caleb Wynn, who stayed with it there from Clay County, and nice gainer to get the South out of the hole, Mark.
17-yard pickup, 1st down and 10. Will Hackney awaits the snap. Hackney has some time, unleashes, and a beautiful grab, but in and out of the hands of Hensley. Hensley had it, and good coverage there by the North.
Seth McKinney on the coverage there.
McKinney played for the head coach of the North, A.J. Harmon, and McKinney, who was the quarterback for the Mountaineers.
That's a nice leap. It looks like he has it in the air. Of course, he'll have to come down to the ground with it, and then he just can't control it.
Good coverage by the Bears. The highlight that would have been in this game.
Well thrown ball. It could have been a momentum shifter, Mark.
And again, Hackney, outstanding player, played in the North-South basketball game last night, scored 4 points, and Chafin gets the call.
He's one of the few guys that didn't put the ball in the bucket if he only got 4 with as many points as we put up on that scoreboard last night. Over 300 in the North-South Basketball Classic.
North 171, South 141, a record. Zion Dobbs and Jalen Bridges out of Fairmont Senior, co-MVPs for the North. Dorian Groggs of the South had game high 33. He was the South MVP, and here's the handoff, and it's going to be Keyshawn Gray out of Capital getting the call there. Gray off to the University of Pikeville, outstanding player on both sides of the football. Rushed for 725 yards and 7 touchdowns as a freshman when he played at Riverside, and then transferred over to Capital and for over 1,000 the past 2 years. Caught 20 passes, 343 yards. It's 4th down and 4, and they're going to bring Will Atkins in to kick it away.
It's a nice stop there by Robert Arnold, the 6'4", 285-pound defensive lineman from R.C. Burden. And when you were talking about Hackney earlier, or Keyshawn Graham, excuse me. He's 5'11", 195. He's not an easy guy to bring down, Mark.
All right, so Atkins will stand at his 14-yard line, and a rush coming. Bish out of Grafton coming in hard there for the North from the edge, and the ball goes out of bounds. We break away back to South Charleston in a moment. No score between the North and the South.
McCutcheon was trying to celebrate. He caught the fair catch out of bounds, the kicker from Hurricane, number 17.
Timeout here as we get set to see the North go back on offense. Sam Jones out of Tiltonsville, Ohio is our referee. Bruce Dunn, Shady Side, Ohio, the umpire. Greg Kesmersky out of St. Clairsville, the line judge. The linesman out of St. Clairsville, Ohio is Vince Lewis.
We had a little bit of a threat earlier. The North had a golden opportunity off a fumble, Mark, but they couldn't capitalize. They had a couple miscues, and they couldn't punch it in. And the South has fought back a little bit to where now it's not unequal field position. So we've got a few minutes, 5 left in this halftime, and we'll see if we can get some sparks flying.
And Connor Neal remains the QB. A Fairmont senior and Jovan Davidson going to slip down there. Being pursued there by a young man that knows his field well, Mark Terry out of South Charleston. And Terry's father, Mark Sr., the MVP for the South in this game back in the mid-90s. Outstanding quarterback here at South Charleston High School for our great friend Bryce Casto, now the AD here at South Charleston, won that state championship back in the day, 1994, first AAA championship won at Wheeling Island Stadium when the Super 6 moved there. Connor Neal flings it out, and now here's Beard, and Beard's got a man, and good job there by Keyshawn Gray. They had Posey open, but Keyshawn Gray comes in and makes what might be a touchdown saving deflection there and knocks it away.
It was a nice job by Keyshawn Gray, but what the problem the North had with this, Mark, was the development and the timing. It took too long to develop, and here we're looking at this, and he sees that it gives Keyshawn Gray enough time to get over and knock the pass away. But the timing of this was perfectly set up. If they'd have just executed a little sooner, we could have seen 6.
3rd down and 14 for Connor Neal and the blue-clad North Bears. Neal rifles it, and pass intended on the far side of the field for Rohan Parchment, but it falls incomplete and brings up 4th down.
And that's an interesting throw there, because one, it's a deep wide, and what you have to do is do a hard plant for that receiver. And Neal had a decent ball, but like we said, these receivers are having a hard time making their cuts, because the field, while it looks great, it's going to start to churn up as the game progresses, and it's not going to be as foot-friendly as possible.
I'm going to run down the officials for you. Sam Jones is the referee. Bruce Dunn, the umpire. Greg Kesmersky, the line judge. The linesman is John Timko, and Vince Lewis is the back judge. Down to Kenny Bass.
Yeah, you notice the color schemes, right? There's blue and red. Dom, get a look at the field here. Again, get a picture over this way. Turn and get those green socks. See those green socks? They don't really match, but they're wearing them for a reason, in honor of Fayetteville High School and the final, obviously the final game for Coach Moneypenny as Fayetteville's closing up shop. But that's why the South Cardinals are wearing those green socks, which really don't match. But when you know the reason why they're wearing them, it's pretty cool. Guys?
Really is, Kenny. And again, we see a lot of that happen in this great state. The closure of schools, and talked to Dave Moneypenny this week on a couple of occasions, and he got choked up a few times, Jim. He's been with that program a long time, helped with the great Frank Punk Spangler. They won a state championship back in 1992.
Yeah, it's difficult. Now we have emotion here on the north. Not that it's going to make a great deal of difference in terms of field position, but it's the mental aspect of it. Now we're at 4 minutes to go in the half, and we don't have a score. And this is, I believe, the North's first punt of the game.
And Trey Beard, stand out from Musselman High School, very versatile player. He's the punter and
the runner.
Rugby kick there, going to hit at the 40, and will be down around the 33-yard line where they'll spot it, and the South will now go back to work. No score in this game, and that was the case back in 1934, Jim. They played this game in frigid conditions in January, and it ended in a scoreless tie. We've had a couple of overtimes in the modern era. It started in 1976.
Well, I think somebody's going to eventually break through with a big play.
Hackney, he can run and throw, and Hackney unleashes it, and a catch over there, but I'll say out of bounds.
Figured Hackney had a little bit of room. There was some coverage there by Hunter Moore for the North defense on that. But
Josh Walmsley set 6 different receiving records at Point Pleasant High School. Made that catch over there, but he said he was out of bounds. So it brings up 2nd down and 10. Hackney was a part of an exciting game on our Friday Night Rivals package this past season. Mingo Central pulled out a 39-36 victory, but Hackney led Sissonville in that 4th quarter. They were down 33-12 going into the 4th. They got the lead, but it would be Mingo Central ultimately coming back and winning that game.
Hunter Moore again on the stop from Lincoln. You know, of course, we know he's a first-team AA All-Stater. He's had his name called quite a few times in his first half.
There's Caleb Wynn making the catch there out of Clay County. He was a late addition, and Isaacs and Wynn, they were late additions, and Dave Moneypenny said, tell you what, these two guys were really nice surprises. Now it's going to be Hackney who's trying to get it to Wynn, and Wynn was sandwiched there. And again by Romans and Rapp, linebackers for the North. Cole Rapp, number 13 from Tucker County, and Daniel Romans from Elkins.
That's interesting. If you saw that, Mark, I don't know if you witnessed or saw that from Will Hackney. He switched hands to try to throw the ball just to get some advancement out of that, and probably didn't come out the way he wanted it to.
So Will Atkins into the game, and we'll kick it away here. 4th and 9. Football is at the 35-yard line. Atkins gets it away, and again, Bish coming in there. That one high and will hit and roll, and we'll down it at the 44-yard line for the North Bears. So with 1:52 to go here in this first half of play, no score between the South and the North. North looking for its 3rd consecutive win.
Well, one of the things we can say about the chain gang, Mark, they didn't have to move too far to make the adjustments from South's offense to North's defense. I think the wind got a lot of that punt.
Connor Neal at quarterback. Jaden Marino, 6 foot, 229-pounder from RCBs. The center was a low snap, and Neal had to go down, and coming in strong is Caleb Richmond out of Meadow Bridge with the tackle. 2nd team class single A running back, and showing his talent on the defensive side of the football. Played there for Dwayne Reichert and the proud Wildcat program. So the North has called time here.
You'll see it's a read. It was a little bit of a low snap. Connor Neal didn't really see it, and he gets there just a little bit. When he sees it, it's a delay, kind of a delay blitz off of the read, off of the weak side, and Connor Neal doesn't see it in time, and then we get us a sack.
Had the banquet last night, the North-South Football Classic, West Virginia Coaches Association Hall of Famers. The great Kerry Marbury from Monongah, Mike Joseph from Fairmont Senior, the WVU strength and conditioning coach, and Bob Contragaro from Wheeling, who's been a great sponsor for this classic for many, many years. They were honored last night at Creek Golf Course, when that was a wonderful banquet. So 1:35 to go here in this first half of play. No score. See if Connor Neal and company can do something as they face 2nd and 20. But Beard now in at QB, and Beard going to turn the corner to the far side and chased down there by a couple of guys from right here in the Kanawha Valley, and Mark Terry and Kalai Clark. Down to Tom Hunter on the north sidelines. Tom?
Well, very special guest was today, United States Senator Joe Manchin from the Mountain States Cradle of Coaches up north central West Virginia. Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher country, class of 65, Farmington High School. You were a pretty good quarterback back in your day.
I remember it well. I remember it well. It's a wonderful way for a senior playing ball over 8 years to finish out their career. North and South, this is the premier, and great fans. It's a great turnout, and it's a great game.
Good to see a lot of familiar faces, I know, for you from Marion Harrison County.
Yeah, Fairmont's represented well here, and I know a lot of the families. I see them. I haven't seen them for a while. So it's good to reconnect, and the South has a tremendous following.
You and your family, loyal supporters of high school athletics across the country, but particularly loyal supporters of Fairmont Senior. We see you at the state basketball tournaments. You're always following the grandkids when they're competing in high school athletics. How important is it for West Virginia's youth to have that opportunity to compete at this level?
Well, first of all, with 10 grandchildren, Tom, it keeps me well informed here and well involved. So we get to watch the kids and follow them. They're all up there. Great time. They're coming down here and playing at Shawnee Soccer. I'm my youngest right now, so we're still very much involved.
Well, it's always good to have you here. I know you have a passion for the sport. Always good to see these folks competing. A great event here with the North-South Classic.
Tom, to have the cheerleaders and all the family support you have and the big event they had last night, it's a wonderful, wonderful support team event, and also an event for West Virginia. But this is the premier game of the state.
United States Senator Joe Manchin, we're going to send it back upstairs to you, Mark and Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, one of the all-time great fighting farmers of Farmington High School there in Marion County, now part of North Marion, but not the greatest. They had two Pro Football Hall of Famers come from that school, Sam Huff and Gunnar Gatsky.
They have had, as Tom said, a mecca of talent up in that area, not just from the players, but also from the coach's point of view as well.
My goodness. All right, 4th and 19, 35-yard line. Beard back in punt formation for the North.
I wouldn't necessarily bank on him punting it.
Bad snap. Gets it away. And here is Hensley on a line drive. Hensley across midfield, and Hensley takes it to the 40-yard line. We saw a punt return for a touchdown last year in this game, sort of in a similar situation, but they do bring down Hensley. Hensley's played a good first half here for the South Cardinals.
A really nice job of catching that bullet of a punt. I mean, it was just a complete opposite of what we were seeing on the last time. So
I've got a lot coming up here at the break. Week of fun of North-South activities. It wasn't all practice there at West Virginia State. They did a lot of things. We'll take a look at that. North-South basketball. We'll remember our great friend Tony Harris, and we'll check first half highlights between these two teams. And here's Atkins back in the game, and Atkins rolling to his left, and Atkins overshoots Hensley. That may be a late hit. It is. Assistant coach Brent Terry right there, and he was not at all happy, and Hensley came up a little fired up, and Mike Bartram of Wayne gets a good job there of getting him off the field. We'll get the call from Sam Jones, our referee. Well, we got a have offsetting here, I believe, Jim.
Yeah, as you said, and Hensley took it a little bit personal when he got that pop there, but a little bit fortunate that it was an offsetter, so it looks like they'll just come back and replay it.
On the offense, number 77, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down. After the play's over, dead ball, personal foul, number 5 on the defense. It's going to be first down. You go back.
All right, Sam Jones, 32 years as an official. This is his second North-South Classic. He's been a part of the OVAC All-Star Games, done 3 Super 6 events in Wheeling, also has done the Ohio State Championship event in Columbus. He's out of Tiltonsville, Ohio, home of the great Bill Mazeroski.
Oh, he was a classic, that's for sure. So World Series and all of that. So there's another area of our region where there's just a plethora of athletes.
I'm delighted to have those folks in the Northern Panhandle, part of this great North-South football classic telecast. And Atkins handing it off, and Bartram out of Wayne gets the call, and you got a player cramping up there for the South. Looks to be Trayvon Franklin out of Point Pleasant, number 77. Heather Adams, the South trainer from West Virginia State University, out to check on Franklin. Franklin was a great player for Dave Darst there at Point Pleasant. 6'1", 270, second team Class AA All-Stater, graded out at 90% for the season.
And you talk about that, Mark, grading out at 90% is really a phenomenal record. You're talking about looking at an individual player, and every single time the ball is snapped, did they do their job? And if you're talking about a guy doing it 9 out of 10 times, they're not really taking any plays off.
21 pancake blocks and an offense led by the great Cason Payne, averaged 484 yards a game. And Jim, we talked about that Friday night rivals game, 39-36, Mingo Central winning over Sissonville. Then we come back the following week, and it was Point Pleasant beating Pikeville 42-35. We had a couple of dandies in back-to-back weeks, and we look forward to another season of Friday night rivals be here before you know it. So Franklin is up.
It's pretty ginger, Mark.
Yes,
it looks like the left leg, he's really dragging it. You know, he's putting as minimal weight as he can on it. Hopefully that young man's, it's not a serious injury, but from the looks of him getting off the field, it looks like he may not be with us the rest of the game, unfortunately.
In the South head coach, David Moneypenny out of Fayetteville, Brad Dingus out of Spring Valley High School, guided the Timberwolves to 3 straight state championship games in AAA. The offensive coordinator, his assistant, Brent Terry, offensive line coach, John Lilly, who was the head coach in this game. Out of Independence High School, the defensive coordinator, Jeremy Moore of Midland Trail High School, also an assistant. The coaching staff for the North, A.J. Harmon, the head coach, Mark Sampson, the Fairmont senior offensive coordinator, Mickey Foley, Tig Wagner. Here is Atkins, back to pass. Atkins in trouble, and Atkins will be knocked down, and it's Heston. And also in there for the North Bears, Ethan Wilson, number 47. Rhett Heston, first walk on at WVU.
Just never got any time to set up on that penalty.
That is going to do it, Jim Mahan. No score here between the North and the South, as they have battled to a scoreless tie here through 24 minutes of action at Black Eagle Stadium on the beautiful campus of South Charleston High School, Eagle Way here in the Kanawha Valley. Coaches, and they are heading to the locker rooms, and we're down with Kenny Bass with David Moneypenny. Kenny, take it away, bud.
Directing here on the field, Mark saying bring it in. Coach, I would imagine you're very pleased with your defense.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing well. They're on the field a lot, so they better be playing well, you know? Yeah.
How big of a moment was it when they get a first and goal in the 5 and you guys stand up and they don't get in the end zone?
Yeah, I mean, it's big, real big. I mean, it could have changed the momentum of the game if they went in, you know. We just got to get things moving offensively. You know, and once we get that worked out, we'll take our chances, you know.
That's the next question. How do you do that? You tried to run early, you've mixed in some passing. Nothing's really clicked yet.
Not yet. Just go in there and keep coaching them up. You know, we got some people out. Just got to move the next guys up in and see what we can do with it.
Coach, thanks. Good luck at the second half. All right, guys.
Kenny, appreciate it, buddy. Frank Spangler was the head coach of 2001 in this game out of Fayetteville High School. Coach Moneypenny spent a lot of time with Coach Spangler, and now he's the head coach and trying to see if they can get offense on the board in the second half. No score, the North and the South. We're back to South Charleston in a moment.
Welcome to the Friday Night Rivals North-South All-Star Football Classic Halftime Report. Presented by Todd Judy Ford.
And welcome back to the Friday Night Rivals North-South Football Classic. And we welcome you into the Eyewitness Sports Halftime Report. I'm CJ Harvey. Josh Lewis will join us here in just a bit. It's been a busy week for the athletes. Usually when they get to the campus of West Virginia State University for training camp, all they're thinking about is the game. But what they quickly realize is that there's a lot more going on over the course of the week. After check-in, there are activities every night up until the eve of the game. So let's take a look back at what's been going on for these guys all week. Monday night, the guys took a trip to Park Place Cinemas in downtown Charleston. They could catch any movie they wanted, any movie of their liking. And after talking with some of the guys, it sounded like Godzilla was certainly the fan favorite. Tuesday night, they kept going. The All-Stars hit the lanes. The town and country bowling lanes in Nitro played host for a few hours of all-you-can-bowl fun. Then Wednesday, The players were back to the movies, this time getting in a little arcade action as well at the Nitro Marketplace. Obviously, nightly activities are a big part of the North-South Classic Week, a big part of the bonding that goes into what you see on the field as well. Thursday night, the guys took to the diamond to stop at Power Park. The baseball game in Charleston was in store on day 4 for the guys in blue and red. And on Friday, what was the biggest day of the week? The guys took center stage and the North-South Parade, which rolled right through South Charleston, right downtown in South Charleston. The game director, Bob Mullet, and his assistant, Mark Montgomery, do a great job of getting things lined up for these guys. They said they had a lot of fun being a part of that, and then the festivities were capped with the North-South Football Classic Hall of Fame dinner. They had a great dinner set for them at the Little Creek Country Club in South Charleston. The guys inducted this year, WVU's strength and conditioning coach Mike Joseph, former WVU great Kerry Marbury, and Bob Contragero were all inducted this year. Well, after the break, Josh Lewis has highlights from last night's North-South Classic basketball game. We're back in just a second.
Welcome to the Friday Night
Still halftime of this Friday Night Rivals North-South.
Welcome to the Friday Night Rivals North-South All-Star Football Classic Halftime Report. Presented by Bridge Valley Community and Technical College.
Still halftime of this Friday Night Rivals North-South Classic. We'll head back out to Mark Martin and Jim Mahan at South Charleston High School in a moment. But first, it was a record-setting evening last night at the South Charleston Community Center. You know, all-star basketball games are more street ball than state tournament. Think Rucker Park instead of the Charleston Civic Center. And if you're a purist who loves defense, this game was not for you. The South was supposed to have 12 players on the roster, but had only 8 for last night's game. So the guys that were there were bound to get a workout in. And did they ever get in a workout? This one. All kinds of records were broken. Very high scoring, very fast paced to say the least. First half, South's Dorian Groggs knocks down a 3-ball. Part of that Webster County team that went undefeated in Class A. Then Tyler Gray, another Webster County kid. Nice pass to Devin Collins. Chatting on the house for the easy bucket. Collins heading to Marshall for hoops. Then Collins to Groggs in the corner. He had 33 in the game. He was named the South MVP. But this one is about the North and about the Bears' athleticism, getting up and down. It's called scoring in transition. Collins for the South there, but 2 passes later, and Fairmont's Zion Dobbs throws it down. And then check out Morgantown's Cam Selders. A tomahawk dunk of his own. One-hander in transition. Selders this time to Jalen Bridges, the 4-star recruit from Fairmont. throws down another dunk. He's going to prep school next year. But the North wins this one. Check out the score, 171 to 141. Highest scoring game ever in the Classic. Frogs named South MVP. Dobbs Bridges named North co-MVPs. But there's no doubt, when you get West Virginia's best on the same court, it's a talented bunch.
Very talented. I mean, I played with most of these kids, Zion, and Jalen, and Cam, and Devin. I mean, they're all phenomenal players. They're all good people, great to play with. I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's just great to be out here with them.
We were getting out in transition a lot. They weren't really getting back. We were just getting dunk after dunk, logs. It was fun.
Hey, check this out. 9 of the North's 11 players scored in double figures. The North shot 58% as a team in the game. The most points scored by a team in this game before last night was 136, and both teams topped that mark. What a night. Well, that's it for halftime. We're headed back to Mark Martin and Jim Mahan at South Charleston High School right after this.
And we welcome you back inside Black Eagle Stadium on the campus of South Charleston High School, South Charleston, West Virginia, Eagle Way. No score between the North Bears and the South Cardinals in our Friday night rivals. North-South All-Star Football Classic being presented by Wendy's. We lose a great friend in the world of high school football and athletics earlier this week as we remember our dear friend Tony Harris. Tony spent many years as director of football operations both Charleston High and Capitol High School, and also an outstanding friend to the North-South All-Star Football Classic. Tony spent many years serving as a manager for both teams, the North and the South, and just a fun guy to be around. High school football will never be the same in the great state of West Virginia as we say goodbye to our dear friend Tony Harris, who was 53 years old. And we head down to Kenny Bass, standing by with one of our special guests at today's game. Kenny, take it away.
Talk about the Air Force's involvement with events like this. How important is it for you guys and the organization that you represent to be a part of and involved in the community?
All right, we'll get back to Kenny Bass here in just a moment. We will take a break here in South Charleston. It's the North and the South defensive battle so far between the blue and the red. Back in South Charleston in a moment. Is that okay with Tony?
Yeah, that's really good.
Top of my head.
Yeah.
Well, somebody must have turned it on or something. We're back. We're up, guys. I hear it.
No score between the North and the South. Two teams have headed back to the field, back down to the field, and our Kenny Bass.
Yeah, this time with pictures and sound. We're here with one of our sponsors, Tech Sergeant Colton Collier, not personally, but the organization he represents, the United States Air Force, a part of what we're doing here. And how important is it for you guys and women to be here, to be a part of the community and be involved in events like this?
Very important. As recruiters, especially in a state, West Virginia doesn't have an active duty Air Force base. Spreading awareness is really tough, and a lot of people don't know what we really do and what we have to offer. So that's why we're out here and what we love to do.
That's the first question I had when I knew I was talking to the Air Force. I went Air National Guard, because that's what we're familiar with, the West Virginia Air National Guard. You guys are full-time Air Force, like you said. You don't have a presence of a base, so that does give you a bit of a hurdle that you have to overcome whenever you're spreading your message, I would imagine.
Absolutely, it definitely does. The Guard has a strong foothold here, and They do a great job, and their mission is also just as important as ours, but, we have to pull from everywhere, so it's a lot of fun, and it's difficult and challenging, but it's a great thing to have.
What do you find about the reception you get whenever you go and you make your pitch and you're talking to people what the Air Force has to offer? West Virginia has a very long and strong history of military involvement, going back to, its inception as a state.
Well, actually, it's really good. There's a lot of people who have deep family roots and things like that. It's just coming out to, essentially get them to realize that there is, full-time positions available. A lot of them don't know where to go to get the information.
Tech Sergeant Colton Collier, thank you for your service.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate the time. Good luck today with recruiting, and best of luck in your time in the Mountain State. And thank you to the U.S. Air Force for helping us bring this to you. Guys, back to you upstairs.
No question about it, Kenny. And you got Ethan Wilson out of Musselman for the North, and also Chris Reinhardt from Musselman, and both are going to be joining the Air National Guard. So we salute those two outstanding young men. Well, Jim Mahan, when you talk about highlights in a scoreless game, typically you're going to find those on the prevent side of the ball, and that's the case here in this first half.
Yeah, that's what we'll see. And when we look at these highlights, we have a couple here to show you. This one, Connor Neal tries to air one out, and then we get a nice pick off there by J.T. Hensley. And then on the defensive side, we get a nice stop by the South to snuff out a fumble that occurred earlier. So nothing on the offensive end, but a lot of defensive plays that have really made the difference in this game. And, you know, somebody's bound to make a mistake or have a big play somewhere earlier.
And Caleb Richmond from Meadowbridge was in there on that defensive stand for the South. Avante Burnett from Beckley, Woodrow Wilson also in on the play.
Mark, we got us an airplane spotted around the 30-yard line on the far side.
Again, just awesome to have those great folks being a part of this classic. All right, let's head to Tom Hunter. Tom, take it away.
Mark had an opportunity to talk to North Coach A.J. Harmon in the halftime period and talk to him, you know, about the team's performance first half. He said, you know, when you've only got a week to get this group together, even with that hard Big Ten core working around, a lot of familiarity among a lot of these kids on the North squad, it's still difficult. He said, these guys are competitors. We knew it was going to be a dogfight coming in. That's exactly what it's turned out to be. We made some adjustments here in the halftime. We're ready to come out and get it second half. Send it back upstairs to you.
All right, Tom, thank you. The South, 29 yards rushing in the first half, just 1 yard passing. The North had 40 through the air, 14 on the ground. Javon Davidson out of Robert C. Byrd. God, they'd like to get going offensively. He's going to kick it off here for the North, and taking it on the hop will be Keyshawn Gray for the South. And Gray out of Capital, and Gray darts across the 35-yard line and still going, and he will be stopped at the 42, but got some additional yardage there, and it was Davidson making the initial stop on Gray, but he kept those legs churning, Jim. Got a few more yards.
You got Keyshawn out of Capital. We've seen what kind of spectacular player he has been all season long for the Cougars, and he's hard to bring down, Mark. 195. He's a pretty strong young man.
Right, the QB situation for the South, they'll go back to Will Atkins, the second team all tri-state athlete. Again, he missed a big chunk of the season due to an injury and still threw for over 1,000 yards, 17 touchdowns. Well, Hensley's been a good player here in the first half for the South, and he gets the call on first down.
Cole Rapp put a good rap on him, so we're going to see the same type of philosophy, like you said, Mark. Who's going to make the adjustments at halftime based on where we are, because we haven't been able to dent the scoreboard. So somebody's going to have to make the right adjustments and put the kids in the right positions to where they can execute.
Cole Rapp, number 13, played for his father, A.J. Rapp, there at Tucker County High School, Mountain Line, first team single-A linebacker. Going to work on the power lines. When all is said and done, here's Hensley making the grab at the 45 and wiggles his way for a couple of more to the 47-yard line as Reggie Redmond out of Kaiser comes up with the stop.
That's a nice throw by Atkins, on the money. Good cut, nice gain. You put yourself in a manageable 3rd down and 2, so looks like the South might be able to get something going here early in the second half.
3rd down and 2 from the 47. Gordy Ball, our spotter. J.J. Mahan, our statistician. And here is Keyshawn Gray, and he is wrapped up by Cole Rapp. And a big stop for the North here early on. Rapp 5'7", 200 pounds. Coach's son read it perfectly, Jim.
Yeah, he just got off the block real quick. His speed really helped him and just blitzed right through that hole and just stuffed that one.
All right, Posey and Fluharty will go back deep for the Bears. Will Atkins will punt it away, stands at his 32. Isaacs, the littlest guy on the field, 125 pounds. He's the long snapper. And it hits, and it will be Isaacs who runs down and fields it. Again, we mentioned Isaacs' father, Frankie, head coach at Midland Trail. So 2 big plays back-to-back, Isaacs and Rapp, and both played for their fathers at their respective high schools, Tucker County and Midland Trail.
And one of the things that we mentioned earlier in the program, Mark, that we do have a running clock, so that does kind of add to the acceleration of the game. So in other words, you're not getting a full effect of the game until you get late in the quarter.
You mentioned Tucker County and Midland Trail. They met in the opening round of the single A playoffs, won by Midland Trail 14-2. And here is Davidson. Davidson not about to go down on the first contact by Richmond. It would be Bartram helping slow him down.
Mark, they never did get Davidson actually to the turf. That's how strong he has. Had 3 guys on him. So you might see, it appears, it's early though, but it appears that the North decided to try to grind it out on the ground here early in the second half.
Connor Neal remains at quarterback. And the pass gunned out there, and Heston has it. Heston at midfield. Heston's got speed. Heston will take it into the end zone for a touchdown. 73 yards.
An outstanding throw and a nice seam route by Heston. And like you said, Mark, he's got speed, and there's an excellent throw on the money, stride for stride here.
Now 2 Fairmont senior Polar Bears hooking up. Rhett Heston made the grab and took off with it, and no one was going to get him. 73 yards, and now they do not have a true place kicker, if you will. The South brought in McCutcheon out of Hurricane, but the North went with a lot of athletes, guys that have kicked, but they're going to go for 2 here. Empty backfield for Connor Neal. Parchment out of Spring Mills in motion. Connor Neal going to go back the other way. Wide open is Holloway for the 2, and it's an 8-0 lead for the North Bears.
It was an excellently deceptive play for the 2-point conversion, but here's taking a look at the touchdown. Heston just seemed perfect throw all the way to the touchdown, and we've got a score finally in the game.
Well, this game started back in 1934 and then finished off in 1955. You see Rhett Heston there, and he gathers in the pass from Connor Neal and goes 73 yards. Heston will try to make it as a WVU Mountaineer. Another look from Neal to Heston. They resumed this game back in 1976. The West Virginia Athletic Coaches Association, Charleston Lions Club, and Wayne Smiley Jamison, the late Wayne Jamison out of Bridgeport, led the North to an 8-6 victory, and now the North with an 8-0 lead right here. And scooping up the football for the South Cardinals is a former Cardinal in Rohan Parchment. Parchment goes down.
Cole Puffenberger on the initial stop.
And check that, the return was by Tyson Hall of Spring Valley, number 10 for the South. Parchment, number 10 for the North. Get my reds and blues straight here.
Got Will Atkins back in the helm, see if he can get the South on the board.
All right, Atkins looks left, looks right, and the ball is going to be picked off Two players are there, and I believe the interception is going to be credited to Caleb Bish, number 33 out of Grafton High School. 6 foot, 170, Class AA special honorable mention selection.
Atkins tries to look the defender off by going left, and he comes back to the right. Either the receiver had a slippage in trying to make his cut, but Dish was right there for the pickoff.
Caleb Bish had not been for an injury, his head coach Rich Board felt he would have rushed for over 3,000 yards in his career. He had a 100-yard rushing effort in all of the Bearcats games this past season. So Trey Beard in at quarterback, and he will keep it, and he will go down rather quickly as the red-clad Cardinals converge on him.
Yeah, it did.
Colton Wright making the stop there. It's the Norse football. Another look at it there.
And you see on our replay, we saw maybe the ball skip off the ground. It is kind of a bang-bang, but we had pretty good angles on that. But I don't think they called up to the booth to see what our opinion was.
2nd down, 12. Beard from the gun. Steps back, uncorks it, and looking there, and a pick by Hensley. JT Hensley with his 2nd interception of the game. Beard was trying to get it into the hands of Parchment, and Hensley with a 2nd pickoff of the game for the South Cardinals.
Yeah, what you have on that play, Mark, you got a lot of errors. A nice throw, but Hensley has a lot of time to get over there and times it perfectly on it. Has a perfectly timed to jump and has a time to get over there and keep his feet in bounds. Is really an excellent interception. That's his 2nd of the game, as you mentioned.
Will Hackney back into the game. Hackney guns it, and the catch is made there by Hensley. So Hensley, a busy guy here. Chris Reinhardt out of Musselman in there on the stop.
One of the things we'll need to look at, the wind's starting to swirl up a little bit here in the 2nd half. So you might see a little bit of effort from the South to try to those short passes, Mark, for the short gainers.
Hackney going to give it to Chapin, and Chapin, he's got a full head of steam. Chapin's got speed to burn, and he is into North territory at the 40-yard line. And the tackle was made a touchdown saving tackle by Elkins' Austin Story, number 6. What a rip for a big gainer there by Chapin.
It was a great double down, and you saw a nice kick out on the outside edge, and Chapin with that speed has really made up a lot of difference. That's a great play.
Hackney back to pass. Fresh set of downs. Hackney gets rid of it. So number 2 pursuing number 2. Heston all over Hackney. Incomplete. 2nd down 10. 30-yard gainer there by Chapin. To get the South Cardinals into Bear territory.
Might be a momentum shifter here. I mean, they've got some downs to work with, and they've had some nice gainers in the ground, some nice short passes. So a good mix and combination that is being run by Moneypenny here.
All right, Chapin, a quick handoff and goes down quickly. I think he lost his footing there. And in on the play, Javon Lang out of Jefferson, number 52, and Alex Oates, number 72 from Kaiser.
As we talked about earlier, Mark, that field's getting a little bit more chunkier as the game goes on, so that's why we had Chapin with a little bit of a trip up there.
Well, up front, we've got Andrew Dolan, Brett Setzer, among others, and here is Hensley, and boy, cowboy there on the stop by Hunter Moore.
And Hunter Moore decided to do a body slam there and on that tackle, and surprised, you know, because we see that from in the higher levels, and those types of penalties, those are called penalties in the NFL.
Jake Huff, who wears number 57, the left tackle. His brother Andrew was the quarterback for the South a year ago, played a great game. The North won that contest 42-20. So 4th and 8, and here's Hackney. And Hackney's going to run with it, and Hackney's taken down. Big play there defensively by number 1, Jacob Hartman out of Petersburg, the Viking. First team utility offensive player, Class AA this season. All-time leading passer in Petersburg High history, but showing it on the defensive side there for the North Bears, and a big stop for the Bears with this 8-0 lead.
There's a nice stop by the Bears, but what you're looking at here is that momentum shifter now that they didn't get that first down, that now you've got the South defense back out there right off of a quick strike 73-yard burst from the North, from the Bears. So we'll see what happens on this series.
Beard remains at quarterback for the North, and Beard going to keep it, and Beard's got some room and shoved out of bounds there by Logan Cook. Get the guys up front for you for this North Bears squad. They've got Robert Arnold in there, Chase Mortakis, Arnold out of RCB, Mortakis out of Wheeling Park. Nick Malone out of Morgantown, number 58 up front. And so Weir High's Rob Valenti, and here is Beard back to pass. Beard looking, got Redmond. Redmond makes the grab at the 15-yard line and takes it inside the 10. Isaacs makes the tackle, but Redmond, an outstanding track and field athlete, got behind the defense, and it's a big gainer for the North.
This is a perfectly timed ball, and he just makes the separation with his speed, and it's a nice catch, but a good recovery by Isaac to save the 6 for the touchdown.
45-yard bullet from Beard to Kaiser. Beard awaits the snap, and Beard will take it inside the 5 off the snap of Chase Mortakis. Avante Burnett out of Beckley Woodrow Wilson.
Part of this, when we talked about this, is that mental psyche, Mark. You're looking at the fact that, you know, the North's up 8. They've already had a big play in that scoring strike, and now they had another big pass play. So this is real important for the South to stay focused here.
Trey Beard back to pass. Beard guns it across the middle, and Pollock makes the catch, and incomplete. Check that, Ethan Wilson. Musselman, Appleman standout.
You take a look at this one. This is a really close call. It's very similar to the one where we have the interception, but the referee is right in front of the play, so we see the ball coming down, and he has it in his hands, but the ball hits the ground even though he has control of it. So yeah, or the ball hitting the ground, so that's an incomplete pass. Nice call.
3rd down 5. Pollock in the backfield with Beard. Beard looking again for Wilson. He goes up, and good coverage there by the Cardinals with Richmond, number 45, and Hall, number 10.
Nice job by Tyson Hall. Now, they were trying to do mismatch on height and just put the ball in the air and make it a jump ball. And Tyson Hall did a really nice job of knocking that ball away.
Wilson goes 6'3", 215. Hall 5'11", 170.
As you mentioned earlier, Mark, I mean, it's a golden opportunity if a team had a kicker. You got the wind behind you. This would be just like an extra point. It'd be 3 more points.
4 wide. Here's Beard. Beard looking. Beard going to take off with it. Beard dives for the end zone. Is he in? And they put him down right inside the 1. And the South has avoided another North score.
That was a mighty close call. I didn't see anything. It looks like when he comes through the line, here's Beard. He's got a nice, he's going to try to dive for it. He's going to try to dive for it. When he comes down, you can see his knee is down around the 2. And where is the ball when his knee is down? So doesn't look like it's close. But apparently the officials decide that it's within 6 inches of the goal line.
All right, Kalai Clark, we've seen him mainly on defense in this game, number 4 for the South, the bruiser out of Capitol High. He's in the backfield. Will Atkins is the South quarterback. He's back in. Delay of game is going to go against the South. There's not much room, Jim, to move that football.
We're looking at a delay game of about 3 inches, so I'm hoping they can get the ruler out here. There's a point, at some point, Mark, a diminished return if it's so close to the goal line. Would you even move the ball?
All right, here is Clark Campbell. He just did slip out of there. And Kalai Clark, he's very athletic, and he manages to get it out to around the 7-yard line.
Well, we see some extracurricular activity here, Mark. I mean, now looks like we've got some laundry on the field, so it may negate a really nice hard run by Kawhi Clark. Like you said, he's a difficult kid to bring down.
Seth McKinney out of Liberty Harrison coming off.
Offsetting, unsportsmanlike conducts negate each other. Both sides probably getting a little bit testy.
Mickey Foley of Grafton, Mark Sampson, Fairmont Senior, Tig Wagner of Robert C. Byrd, the assistant coaches for A.J. Harmon on that North staff. David Moneypenny has John Lilly of Independence, Brad Dingus of Spring Valley, Jeremy Moore of Midland Trail, and Brett Terry of Spring Valley.
Mark, it looks like the South's content to come over and consult before we have this second down to start the fourth quarter.
Final play of the third quarter, and it is an 8-0 lead for the North Bears over the South Cardinals in this Friday Night Rivals North-South All-Star Football Classic presented by Wendy's. Back with the fourth in a moment.
I think I'd be running Clark. I really...
We welcome you back inside Black Eagle Stadium on the campus of South Charleston High School, and it is.
We got Owen Chafin, the running back out of Spring Valley, who put some nice moves and just exploded up through the middle with some good spring blocks there from the Spring Valley running back. And then on the north side, of course, we have Trey Beard with an interesting throw and a nice catch and run from Rhett Heston. So
that's been our TD in this game. Then the 2-point conversion went to Holloway. So we're ready to go now with the fourth quarter, and South with the football. Talked about John Lilly, one of the assistants for the South. He's now the head coach at Independence. When he was at Beckley Woodrow Wilson, he led the South to a win in the 2010 game. A.J. Harmon once played in this game, now trying to get a win as a coach, and Clark will go down, slipping and sliding.
And Mark, you see how athletic Kawhi Clark is. There's a guy that you would think with his size he'd want to stay inside and bruise and bang, but here's a guy trying to bounce to the outside because he's got really good speed and quickness.
Checking the guys up front, you got Andrew Dolan from Ripley, Brett Setzer from Tulsa High School, Levi Kessler from Cabell Midland, Jay Cuff from Winfield.
Okay.
And also Trevor Harrell out of Midland Trail High School. Will Atkins pitching it to Bartram. Bartram looking, and Bartram will be wrapped up there, and I believe tackle going to be made by Chris Reinhardt, number 50. Bartram wore number 9 at Wayne High School, but in this game he wears number 8 in memory of a promising young player at Wayne High School. Colt Adams sadly died in a traffic accident a couple of weeks ago. He'll be a junior this coming year at Wayne High School, and Mike Bartram showing a lot of love for his fallen teammate. Will Atkins will punt from the end zone, boots it away, and Fluharty and Posey going to watch it bounce. And we've got a break in the action here. We'll leave you from South Charleston back in a moment. North with the ball when we return.
Got a flag. You got it.
The U.S. Air Force, a proud sponsor of high school football. Visit airforce.com or your local Air Force recruiting office for more information. Bridge Valley Community and Technical College. Todd Judy Ford, home of tires for life. And by the City of South Charleston and the Eagles Nest Restaurant at Little Creek Golf Course, featuring the Canola Burger.
Well, been a lot of great coaches in this game, and talking here, Jim, with your son, J.J. Mahan, and not only did his father play in the game, but his late grandfather and late uncle were a part of this game. Frank Marino, the head coach of the North in 1990, and the late Mickey Marino, the quarterback of the South in 1981, and heaving it up, and going to have a penalty. Trey Beard's pass intended for Evan Hurt out of Spring Mills, but we are going to have flags. With Beard showing off his arm.
He had a nice distance on that. Tyson Hall made a nice close, but the problem with it is he put his hands on him right at the end, toward the end, and the back judge caught it. So it looks like it'd be pass interference against Tyson Hall. Now he has had a great game, so and take nothing away against that particular play.
Intended for Evan Hurt out of Spring Mills, and there's the interference.
Yeah,
look there.
He's impeding his chances to catch the ball. Now, if he'd have turned around and played the ball and made that contact, we may not have seen a flag throw.
All right, now Connor Neal back in the game. They have both Pollock and Wilson in there, and Pollock was banging his way for some tough yards.
And he gets 4 the hard way. It just decides to drive throughs for some of those defenders, and that's, of course, without Kawhi Clark, that force in the center from Capital. Now he's back into the game, so he needed a little bit of a blow from playing both ways, and that's kind of tough, like you said, Mark, when they're not in that true football shape.
Caleb Holbrook slowed him down a bit. Kawhi Clark and Justin Hawkins out of Sherman were in on the stop there. Pickup of 5, second down 5, football at the 41, and here's Pollock, and Pollock finding running room. Pollock's got first down yardage as he takes it inside the 30 for the North. Tyson Hall with the tackle for the South.
And Mark, there's a little bit of extracurricular activity there on the sidelines. The coaches are trying to clean it up. At this point, you know, we just want to demonstrate the best sportsmanship possible that we can as we close out this North-South Classic.
Connor Neal back to pass, and Connor Neal going to be taken down. Battle got him around the ankles, and then Battle got help from a variety of other players, including Seth Witt, number 25, standout from Chapmanville, but a Battle out of Greenbrier East made the initial contact.
Now, part of that has to do with their spending double time on Kawhi Clark up front because he is such a force, so that leaves some other guys free, and that was not a coverage sack. That was just a good penetration by the defensive front for the South. They're discussing a possible penalty, Mark, whether they want to take this or not.
Hear that wind whipping up here at what we need is bring the screwdrivers and the bolts and the
staple gun
belts and to keep things from flying away here. Beard hands it off, and Pollock looking to the outside, and Pollock going to be banged out of bounds there by Logan Cook. Pollock being a great player, second team defender in the All-State squad of Class AA.
Mark, he's coming out because Pollock looks like he's got a little bit of a limp when he came up from that tackle, so you can see him going off the field a little gingerly.
Played for Kevin Whiteman there at Frankfort High School. Mineral County's 2 high schools represented here with Kaiser and Frankfort. And a snap to McKinney, who has entered the game at quarterback, Seth McKinney.
That would be Coach Harmon's quarterback.
That's their first
He won't give him
time
an
out.
opportunity here with 7 minutes to go left in the game. 8-0 North.
Rivals North-South All-Star Football Classic is being brought to you today by the City of South Charleston and the Eagles Nest Restaurant at Little Creek Golf Course, featuring the Canal Burger. Todd Judy Ford, home of tires for life. Bridge Valley Community and Technical College. and by the U.S. Air Force, a proud sponsor of high school football. Visit airforce.com or your local Air Force recruiting office for more information.
Back in live action, and McKinney for the North, the quarterback out of Liberty Harrison, tried to hit Davidson on a screen pass there, but ball falls incomplete. So 4th down and 17. Trey Beard into the game. And we'll await the snap from Mortakis out of Wheeling Park. Pretty wide to the near side, and now time has been called by the North Bears. They lead it 8-0.
Timeout by the North.
And trying to stretch it to 4 in a row.
And you don't want to do something silly here, Mark. You have the lead, you have the ball, it's 4th down. You could play field position. We haven't seen a lot of explosiveness from the South, with the exception of Chafin's 30, 40-yard John up the middle. Short of that, we haven't seen any big plays from them. So I don't think Coach Harmon's philosophy at this point is to punt a ball and try to play field position. So I'm looking for Trey Beard to probably either tuck it and run or throw a ball up for grabs and hope there's either a pass interference or his kid can come down with it.
Well, in this 3-game win streak, the North has scored 42 twice a year ago, and in 2016 they won 10-7 in the 2017 game. So 4th and 17 from the 35. Trey Beard awaits the snap. Davidson in the backfield. Here's Beard, sets up. And looking for Ethan Wilson. Now the Musselman ball falls incomplete. So the South will take over. 6:08 to go in the game.
If there's a spirit lifter, that would be it for the South. The fact that they've stopped them. A nice stop would look like the momentum was shifting toward the North. So see if the South could put something together these last 6 minutes. And again, Mark, I hate to keep reiterating this, but that running clock puts a little extra pressure on that offense to try to produce something a little quicker. Now we're under 6 minutes.
Will Atkins back in the game for the South at quarterback. Atkins. And right into the hands of Hartman, Jacob Hartman. Going to pick it off, and Jacob Hartman will take it back. No flags. A 35-yard interception by Petersburg's Jacob Hartman, who then got up pretty high, Jim, and slammed it over the crossbar.
Boys are celebrating in the end zone, but we do have a flag on the play. Not exactly what it is.
Legal block in the back.
It's not going to negate a nice pick six.
After change of possession, we have an illegal block in the back. Number 6, blue. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down for the North.
All right, the North will have the football, but no TD for Hartman.
Atkins, you see here, and then you see he drives him all the way out to the sideline.
So the North with the football.
It will certainly take their time as we're on a rolling clock, which is a huge disadvantage for the South. But hats off to the North. They did a nice job reading that play.
Connor Neal hands it to Pollock, and Pollock has stood up there by Kalai Clark. Clark, first team AAA All-State. He was the Kanawha Valley Player of the Year. 47 solo tackles on the year, and 24 and a half of those lost yardage. And he's going to head off to Antelope Junior College out in California.
You know what makes Kawhi Clark so special, Mark, is he's a heady football player, but he has strength and speed and quickness, and you can see he's really difficult to handle up front because of his agility.
All right, 2nd down and 14, loss of 4. Connor Neal awaits the snap, and he'll pitch it to Pollock, and Pollock, and he gets by Richmond there, and Pollock inside the 40-yard line. The ball spotted right at the 39, so it's about one.
I was Coach Moneypenny. I might want to consider, you're on 3rd and 13, I might want to consider a timeout. You don't get to take them with you.
Yeah, because you know the North is not going to give that ball up on kick away on the 4th down, I would not think.
They haven't.
Right now they want to get a first and get a fresh set of downs. Connor Neal going to throw. Rifles it out, looking for Wilson, and Wilson
couldn't make the hard plant, Mark, and the ball floated a little bit for Neal, so it's going to be 4th down, but they helped the South there in reserving a timeout as we have an incomplete pass. Now we have a stop on the clock.
Now there is a timeout called by the South. Wilson had a great TD catch in a big come from behind win against Wheeling Park during the 2018 high school football season. We'll talk it over with both sides. Again, cannot say enough great things about North-South Classic game director Bob Mullett, assistant Mark Montgomery, the West Virginia Athletic Coaches Association, Charlie Maynard, Wes Eddy, Jody Moat, countless people. Great job here at South Charleston High School. Head coach Donnie Mays, who's been a part of this classic as a coach. Bryce Casto, the athletic director, is a wonderful facility playing host. And let's head to Kenny Bass. Kenny?
Yeah, just a quick update for an injury. Trayvon Franklin, who was hurt earlier in the game. Left leg, not a knee. He said it was on the outside of his leg, the lower part of his upper thigh. He's been trying to work it off and walk back and forth, but doesn't look like he's going to go back in. And that's a loss for the South defense. He was playing pretty well when he got hurt, but looks like he's not suffering too badly, but he won't be back, I would imagine. Guys?
Shane Kenny, just a very nice young man. Neal launching it, and that nearly is intercepted in the end zone by Tyson Hall. But the South will get another stab at it here, Jim Mahan.
That's good, and actually a nice job that the ball floats out of bounds on Hall, because it would have cost them about 20 yards on the possession. If they get the possession, interception in the end zone, it's a touchback. The ball will be set at the 20. So now it looks like you've got an opportunity on a running clock with 3:30 left. Here's the South coming out. Let's see if they can pull something together here.
Well, they trail by 8. So they would need a TD, and they would need a 2-point conversion. Will Hackney in the game. Hackney rolling. Hackney looking, and Hackney will step out of bounds. He was pursued there by Romans out of Elkins, number 34.
Yeah, Hackney wishes he had another step and a half, because he had a little bit of daylight, some acres there, but nice job of them stepping out of bounds, and that helps them. So they'll need to put some urgency in their offense at this point.
Romans off to West Liberty, where he will study criminal justice. Christian Pack wide to the near side, and here is Hackney, and what a grab by Walmsley out of Point Pleasant. Jacob Walmsley, his first catch of the game.
It didn't appear it was going to be that way, but a nice advancement and good throw. Nice throw by Hackney to Walmsley, and he was able to gather himself there and make the reception. Off the run, and a nice catch, and South's in business.
Walmsley, 16-yard grab. He had 45 catches on the season. Here's Hackney again. Rolling, looking, in trouble, and he's going to go down. Rapp coming in and making the stop of Hackney.
Yeah, that was a big play right there for the North. For Rapp, who's had a really nice job on the defensive side of the ball, Mark. He's been all over the field. And we see the urgency now from the South as we get close to the 2-minute mark.
Pack and Hensley wide to the near side. Wynn and Walmsley on the far side. And here's Will Hackney. And what a grab made by Hensley. Pull it in. Well, Hensley's done it both offensively and defensively in this game, Jim.
It was a great job on the catch, not just the concentration of catching the ball, but keeping his feet in bounds. If you'll see on the replay, this is a wonderful opportunity for him to keep his feet in bounds. Watch this, foot down, and the other foot close to being down. So it's a catch, and the South's on the move, Mark. 1:55 to go.
17-yard pickup, fresh set of downs for Hackney and the Cardinals. He looks, he guns. Wamsley makes the catch on the far side of the field. It's been a quiet game for Wamsley up until now as he makes the grab there on the far side.
And you know, Mark, people might be wondering how come the South hasn't done this the whole game. Well, one of the things is North is playing a little bit of a soft defense on the coverage, but there's Wamsley in the corner. He's been finding those seams out on the edges, and we're getting the 8-yarders, the 10-yarders, the 12-yarders. So, you know, they're in business here.
Hackney rolls, looking, shoots, fires, and the catch is made. And a nice move there by Hensley, and Hensley takes it to the 10-yard line. A first down for the South Cardinals here late in this game as they trail 8-0.
Mark, you got a smell of a barn burner here. If we can get some action from the South here with the last 1:22 to go, threatening, knocking on the doorstep of the North. The North looks like they have a little bit of gas to them right now.
3 wide to the far side, handoff, Chafin up the middle, and Chafin slipping inside the 10, and quickly the South calling a timeout with 1:08 to go.
Well, they tried to run the trips left to try to draw the North into a fake passing mode off of a quick slant, and then they tried to sneak Chafin in up the middle, but a nice effort there to stop him from short of the goal line.
1984, North and South, 14-13 victory in overtime for the North, and in 36-28 in the 2012 game.
You'd have to go back a long way to find the South being shut out, Mark. I would think probably back to what, 1999? Are we correct on that?
That shutout by the South was a 7-0 game, and it was 26-0 North in 1998.
You got the South has the wind to their back with 1:08 left, down 8. Ball is at the 7-yard line. We'll see what the South can do here.
Hackney slips, Hackney throws, catch made by Hensley in the end zone for a touchdown. And what a great effort there by Hackney.
Hackney did an excellent job of stopping, regathering himself. He didn't panic. And what a catch by Hensley in traffic, Mark. He's got 2 guys that's going to converge on him. You're going to see a nice play here by Will Hackney to gather himself, throw back into the scene, and there's T.J. Hensley with a great concentration, knowing he's going to get a pop. Well, it comes down to this. It's a 2-point conversion. Let's see what kind of magic can Coach Money Penny come up with in the last 1:02.
We'll give Will Hackney a lot of credit. We talked earlier about that Friday night rivals game we had with Mingo Central, and he rallied Sissonville, though the Miners would pull that game out. And there is Hensley making that grab, Jim Mahan.
No, and he's going to get popped, and he still hung on to the ball. As an excellent job by Hensley. The Sherman grad, first team All-State in football and baseball, so we know he's got great hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, and he's not decided what he's going to do just yet, so you know there are going to be big colleges talking to this young man. You know it's going to continue on now after his performance here today, and again also an outstanding baseball player. But right now, and the Cardinals tie this thing up
I don't want to speak too soon, Mark, but Kawhi Clark is in the game for the South.
They got the Capital connection there with Clark and Keyshawn Gray. Hackney under center. Hackney rolls, and Hackney intended for Pack, and it is Caleb Bish of Grafton knocking the football away.
Bish did a nice job. He really did. It was an excellent throw, but Bish was just there for the coverage and knocked the ball away.
Now 1:02 remaining here. They put the two Capital guys in the backfield, and tell you what, the North was right there on it as Hackney rolled to his right and spotted Christian Pack, but Caleb Bish was there to knock it away. Bish, again, the young man out of Grafton. So it will be kickoff time here for the South.
And undoubtedly we'll be seeing some type of onside kick, Mark, to see if the South can recover. They did an excellent job of moving the ball down the field, mostly through the air. And we'll see if they can do some coverage. I'm sure the North is going to have their all-hands team up front here, and they won't have anybody deep because they know there's no reason to kick it deep with 1:02 left.
And it looks like they are going to have Fluharty from North Marion. He will be the deepest, but they had been going with 3 deep there on kickoff return. So you see McCutcheon, an outstanding kicker. I haven't got a chance to talk about him, but you know, this is a kid that did a lot of great things as the kicker for Jeremy Taylor's Hurricane Redskins the past few seasons. Squibs it, and landing on it over on the far side is Puffenberger for the North. Yeah. Cole Puffenberger going to head to Glenville State College to play football. Had an older brother, Kyle, who played there, tragically killed in an auto accident. That young man has played in memory of his brother ever since.
That was a pretty stiff kick by McKinley, but a nice job by Puffenberger to field that ball, because that was coming with a lot of speed on it. And we got to hand it to the South, Mark, that they made the game somewhat of a game there right at the end as they punched it across, but that 2-point conversion not quite in the cards today.
So they have the football at the 47, and Connor Neal will take a knee.
And the thing that I always don't like about taking a knee here, he lost 7 yards on them.
Second down and 10 as the clock rolls here. Barring some kind of miscue, the North is going to win for a 4th straight year for the 2nd time in this modern era series that started back in 1976. Connor Neal, Kennedy Award winner out of Fairmont Senior. And you look at it, he's 15-0 as a high school football player in that final season. Guided Fairmont Senior to the AA State Championship, a perfect 14-0 record. Outstanding job by our officiating crew from the Ohio Valley. So an 8-6 game, Jim Mahan, and that was the score. The North winning it 8-6 in that first game back in 1976 as Wayne Jamison's North Bears topped John Chamara out of Bluefield and the South Cardinals. The game that launched this great series and got things started back up again as we showcase some of the outstanding football players in the great state of West Virginia.
And like you said, Mark, you know, a lot of this is about relationships and the memories, and it really isn't about winning, but it is about the relationships.
All right, we're back in South Charleston in a moment with post-game activities.
Well, I mean, we're doing after
But are y'all doing something like for the 6 o'clock?
Well, I mean, Josh.
Oh, check. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I got him. I got Harmon.
But we're doing, but he's doing like post game stuff. Yeah.
To you. Congratulations. Made you work for it.
Yeah, him. He's working with.
He said, I got a couple of things of the cheerleaders. I said, you need an intro. He said, we don't do an intro for this game.
Well, it's already aired. It's live.
I'm at 6 o'clock. You guys are on the
Well, it's not the football show. It's the regular news. I mean, if there's a news shooter here, you'd be fine. But I don't see any news shooters.
You want me to talk to Mullet or Kenny? I got you. So I'll toss to Kenny and Mullet. Okay.
So I'm not talking to Moneypenny?
Probably Clove Park. Yeah. I'm right in front of the North Star with Harmon, guys. Glad the rain held off.
Please direct your attention to midfield. WCHS TV, ABC8, Fox 11, North-South Football Classic Game Director Bob Mullet. I'd like to thank the sponsors, players, coaching and support staff, along with everyone in attendance today for their support of the 2019 West Virginia.
We welcome you back inside Black Eagle Stadium, South Charleston, West Virginia, on the campus of South Charleston High School. And it is the North winning over the South 8-6 in our Friday night rivals North-South All-Star Football Classic presented by Wendy's and our Huntington Mall player of the game, Jim Mahan, Brett Heston from Fairmont Senior.
Yeah, he really got the spark going for the North and made the nice catch, 73-yard grab, and perfect run, turned on the Jets, and then that ended up being the difference maker.
Well, Heston was a player that was very versatile coming into camp, and they got a big play out of him there, 73-yard play. Let's head down to Tom Hunter with the winning head coach, A.J. Harmon from the North.
Well, Coach A.J. Harmon, they made you work for it today, Coach. I was talking to you. To have all that talent around you this week, I know it's been a special experience for you and this group.
It's been very special, and you're not kidding, man. That was a dogfight. We knew it would be. I mean, I would have probably bet my house we'd have scored more than 8 points today, but that's the beauty of this game. Credit the South for coming out, having confidence, playing real physical. It was a lot of fun. I mean, tempers flared a little bit, but it's a rivalry game. We loved it.
Well, the intensity, you know, like you say, really picked up, particularly that second half when everything was on the line. And these North Bears have a lot to walk away with in terms of the memories not only made here today, but throughout the week, I know, with you and your coaching staff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it feels like we've known these kids for 10 years at this point. You know, at this point, I'm going to claim them forever. They're my boys. I know they come from all different places in the North, and they should all be extremely proud for how they represented their town.
Would like to take this group of talent, I'm sure, back with you and put it on the field of Liberty 1st August, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to take a few of these guys back, but I wouldn't trade my Liberty boys for anything.
That's Coach A.J. Harmon from the North Bears. Coach, congratulations, and a great work by you and your staff this week with this fine group of kids.
Thank you, and I appreciate everything that everybody does to put on this game. It's really an honor to be here.
We're going to send it now over to Kenny Bass. Kenny?
Yeah, we're here with Coach Moneypenny. You made it exciting there at the end. Talk about that last drive.
Yeah, our kids competed. I mean, it was a great football game on both sides of the ball, yeah.
What did you see from your guys? You know, they're down, getting a little desperate, time's running out. Obviously, it doesn't count. It's an all-star game, but it didn't seem like there was much quit.
Well, it counts to these kids. You know, they play with a lot of heart. I'm telling you, these guys gelled extremely well off the field this week, and I think it showed on the field. So, yeah, we got a lot of fighters down in the South, that's for sure.
What's the experience been like for you? Obviously, it's been a very, it's an emotional time when football programs end, schools end, but you're able to cap it off with something like this. Your second time here, I think, Coach, right? You were an assistant before, so talk about the experience this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's surreal, awesome, and I was extremely excited, and then all the kids kind of came out in green socks, and it kind of hit me again. So, yeah, you got to suppress that sometimes. You know, it happens, and that's the way it is. But this has been a great experience, and I'm very thankful to have went through it.
You didn't know they were going to do the socks?
No, sir.
How was that?
It's hard to talk about. It really is.
Congratulations, Coach. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So, we pointed out those socks earlier in the game. Coach did not know about it. You could tell. It affected him emotionally, affected him inside. Obviously, this is an end of an era for Fayetteville and for Coach Moneypenny, and that's neat to hear. So, well done, young man, with the green socks, guys.
Thank you, Kenny. Just one of the great storylines to this game this week. Again, a tough time for Coach Moneypenny, and right now, not sure what the coaching future holds, but he's an outstanding coach, and he'll land in some program, Jim Mahan.
Yeah, you can tell he pours his heart out and soul out into those kids, and he was emotional over that. And that is tough. It's tough not only on the program, but on the school itself, on the community. And you know that sometimes with the economics, it's forced that way, and that's unfortunate because he'll do a fine job somewhere. He will end up somewhere, and he'll be coaching, and he'll be leading kids, and not just talking about wins and losses on the field, but talking about how to develop player relationships.
And no question about it. Had a chance to cover that great program many years ago down there at Fayetteville with Punk Spangler, and of course the late Paul McCann was also a great coach there as well, and his sons Mike and Jody played in the game, but certainly a lot of pride with Fayetteville Pirate football. All right, the festivities continuing down on the field here at South Charleston High School. The North wins it by a count of 8-6, and we will continue our coverage here from South Charleston High School, our Friday Night Rivals North-South All-Star Football Classic presented by Wendy's.
From the South, from Spring Valley, Brent Terry. From Midland Trail, Jeremy Moore.
And the North victorious in this Friday Night Rivals North-South All-Star Football Classic presented by Wendy's. 8-6. Jim Mahan, you were on the winning team 40 years ago. You limited the North to 8 points, but today 8 points good enough to get the North a victory.
Hate to say this, but today 8 was enough for the North Bears.
Yeah, just some final thoughts on this game.
Nice effort on both sides. Good sports. It got a little bit chippy out there, but all in all, I mean, those kids are competitive. They want to win, so what it comes down to is the kids and the relationships.
Yeah, hats off to the North-South All-Star Football Classic staff. A great job. Bob Ballett, Mark Montgomery, West Virginia Coaches Athletic Association. Just phenomenal job once again, both coaching staffs and all the young men that represented their teams. So the South still leads the series 40-23-3, but today the North wins it by final 8-6. Thank you for joining us for the Friday Night Rivals North-South All-Star Football Classic presented by Winnie's. This broadcast has been a presentation of WCHS and Eyewitness Sports. Join us in August when we kick off Friday Night Rivals regular season. For Jim Mahan, Kenny Bass, Tom Hunter, and the entire crew, I'm Mark Martin. Have a great afternoon.